Hello students, once again I welcome you all in this last video related with the chapter Coal and Petroleum, where we are going to finish the questions which are given in the main exercise of this chapter. As the explanation part of this chapter we have already finished in few previous videos, where we had discussed that coal and petroleum both are fossil fuels which we are obtaining from the remains of prehistoric organisms which got buried for millions of years ago deep inside the earth, and due to the action of high pressure and temperature along with the anaerobic degradation, they got converted in such a form that we are utilizing today in the form of fossil fuels. So now we will start today's discussion that we are going to solve the exercise page questions in this chapter. So please open your book and open the page number 91, where all the questions are given in exercise form. So we will start from the first exercise that is given in the form of very short question answer. So first exercise is given in the form of very short question answer, and the first question in this exercise, it is asking to you, name two non-coal minerals obtained from lithosphere. So you are having a knowledge from the previous class also, where you have read a chapter rocks and minerals, that minerals are any solid inorganic substances present on the earth. So this basically chapter belongs to the coal and petroleum, and it is asking you that name two non-coal minerals. So we have to tell two other names other than the coal, and that is what you can say petroleum and natural gas. So these are what non-coal minerals, and you can also provide the examples of metals and non-metals because they are also minerals. So you can write also there like iron, gold, silver or diamond, anything. But here, since we are studying this chapter and it was asking two minerals other than coal, so we have written here what petroleum and natural gas. But you can write any of the mineral that is present on the earth's surface. Now second question, name the process of slow conversion of wood into coal under high temperature, high pressure and in the absence of air. So you are having an idea that this process is known as what? Carbonization. So actually carbonization is it is a process of slow conversion of wood into the coal due to action of high pressure and temperature deep inside the earth, and this is very slow process which occurs through millions of years. Now third question is asking to you, what is the role of coke in metallurgical processes? So metallurgical process where we are going to use metals, and you know whenever we are going to use this coke, since it is having what a lot of amount of carbon in it, so coke is used as reducing agent. If you are still remember the metal and non-metal chapter, then there we have discussed this, that non-metals, they show their chemical properties as a reducing agent, and this is reason why they are used in the metallurgical processes to purify metal or to extract metal from their ores. So the question was asking to you, what is the role of coke in a metallurgical process? So coke is used as a reducing agent in the metallurgical processes where we are going to extract metals from it ore or we are going to purify it. Now question number 4, which is a better fuel, coal and coke. So you have to tell which one is the better fuel amongst coal and coke. So perhaps you are having a knowledge that coal is what? Coal may be in four varieties like peat, lignite, bituminous and anthracite. But when we talk about the coke, then you know coke is having the most amount of carbon in it. So our answer will be what? Coke. Because coal also contains some amount of moisture in it. So in comparison to coal and coke, coke will be the better one when we are going to use it in the form of fuel. And finally, the last question in this segment: which property of petroleum is used for separating it into various fractions? So we know this, that petroleum, when we obtain crude oil, then we are going to perform a process that is known as what? Fractional distillation, so that the compounds or the components of petroleum can be separated from one another and they can be used in different fields. So variation in their boiling point, variation in boiling point of fractions. So whatever fractions, whatever compounds we are going to obtain from petroleum, their boiling point is different from each other, and that's why we are going to perform the distillation process, from where we are going to separate various components of petroleum. Now we will discuss the second exercise, that is what? Short answer question, and it is asking to you the first question in this segment: what is meant by the destructive distillation of coal? So now we are going to start the second segment, that is what? Short answer type questions. And in this segment, the first question is asking to you, what do you mean by destructive distillation of coal? So you are having an idea that destructive distillation is a process to break down coal into its component at high temperature and in the absence of air, or we can say it in the absence of oxygen. So this is what destructive distillation of coal, where we are going to heat up the coal in the absence of air and at high temperature, and we are obtaining some useful products like coke, coal tar, ammonical liquor and coal gas. Now it is asking in the second question, mention two uses of coke. So you know coke can be used, we have to provide two uses of coke. So coke, one you are observing here, coke is used as reducing agent and coke is used as domestic fuel. You can also write that coke is used in the formation of producer gas or water gas. They are also used as the domestic fuel. So you can write any of the answer, means you have to provide only two uses of coke. Now third question is asking to you, is crude oil a mixture or a compound? Explain. So we are also having this knowledge that crude oil is what? Crude oil is a mixture. And why it is mixture? As the composition of crude oil may be different at different places. So whatever components are going to present in the crude oil, on the basis of that we can say that crude oil is a mixture, because the components may vary on the basis of the places where from we are going to obtain petroleum. Now next question, question number 4 in this segment, it is asking to you, name the various fractions or products obtained from crude oil after distillation process. So you know, after distillation process we can obtain a variety of compounds, a variety of components which we are utilizing in our daily life. So the components of crude oil are what? The first one, that is in the form of gas, the lighter one, the lighter carbon chain, less carbon chain, petroleum gas, then petrol, naphtha, kerosene, diesel, then fuel oil, lubricating oil, grease and wax, and also residue like asphalt that we are going to use in the road construction, all these things. So these are the components of crude oil which we are going to obtain after the fractional distillation process. Now the last question in this segment, short answer type question, that is what? Give a few suggestions to save petrol or petroleum for future generations. So what we can do to save petroleum for the future generation? So this is the last answer, and you can also provide the answer of this question, that we can drive the vehicles at constant speed so that they can use less fossil fuel in the form of coal, in the form of petrol or diesel, whatever we are utilizing to run the automobiles. Now second, you know, whenever there is a red light at the traffic signal, so at that time we can also switch off the engine, at traffic light. If the light is red for a longer duration, for a longer time, then we have to switch off the engine so that we can reduce the use of petrol or diesel in our automobiles. Also, we can maintain the correct tire pressure. So these are few ways through which we can reduce the use of petroleum in our daily life, and also by utilizing another non-conventional sources of energy where we can replace the usage of these petroleum or coal so that we can save them for future use. Now the next exercise, that is in the form of long answer type questions, and the answers of this segment I'll provide you tomorrow in the group and the written form, so you will get the answers of long questions there on at the group. And now exercise D, that is asking you tick the odd one out giving region. So in this segment the first one is given the options air, water, soil, forests, plastics and minerals. So as you know, air, water, soil, forests and minerals, they all are what? Natural resources but plastic, since we have synthesized plastic by our own, so plastic is what? Odd one, because it is not the natural resource. Now second one, coal, wood, petroleum and natural gas. So out of these four, coal, petroleum and natural gas is what? Fossil fuel, but wood is not a fossil fuel, so it is the odd one. Now in the third question, the options are given what? Coal, natural gas, coke and coal tar. So coal contains coal tar and coal gas, but the natural gas is what? Different from coal. So natural gas is here the odd one. And now in the fourth, LPG, kerosene, asphalt and petrol. So out of these four, asphalt is what? The fraction of petroleum which is having the high boiling point, but the rest, LPG, kerosene and petrol, these are having what? Low boiling point. So asphalt will be the odd one because it is settled down at the bottom in the form of residue during the fractional distillation of petroleum. And finally the last one in this segment, take the odd one out segment, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, fuel oil and asphalt. So here the lubricating oil, paraffin wax and asphalt, they are formed in the form of residue during the fractional distillation. So these will be together, and the odd one is what? Fuel oil, because its boiling point is less than the rest three. Now we are going to solve the next exercise, multiple choice question, and the first question it is asking to you, an exhaustible natural resource is. Out of given four options, you have to select which one is the exhaustible natural resource, and your options are here. Option A, water, air, sunlight. Option A, water. Option B, air. Option C, sunlight. And option D, coal. So after discussing this chapter, you are having a knowledge that coal is what? Exhaustible resource, because it is present in the limited amount, and if we are going to use them extensively, they are going to finish in few years in the future. Few years means near about 100 years, they may end up finished, they may get exhaust. So now second question, the purest form of coal is, and your options are given. Option A, peat. Option B, bituminous coal. Option C, anthracite. And option D, lignite. So out of these four, anthracite is the correct one, because it is the purest form of coal, having less, not less, means least moisture with it, and having more than 90% carbon content. So it is the purest form of coal. Now question number 3, the substance having the highest calorific value is peat, lignite, anthracite and wood. Again here you will select the right answer in the form of anthracite, because it is what? Having the more amount of carbon content, and that's why it will produce us the more and highest calorific value. Now question number 4 in the multiple choice question, the major constituent of natural gas is are. So natural gas mainly consists of what? Methane, and you will get the right answer at the B option that is given in this question. Now fifth one, the energy stored in the fossil fuel is. So we are obtaining fossil fuel by chemical changes. So this energy is what? Chemical energy is stored in the fossil fuel, and you will select the C option of this question as the right answer. Now we are going to solve the next one. Write one word for the following. And the first question, anaerobic thermal degradation of wood is known as what? Carbonization. As we have discussed here, that carbonization is what? A process where anaerobically wood is degraded by thermal and pressure effect or impact of the earth surface. Now second one, breaking up of coal by heating strongly in the absence of air, and this process is known as what? Destructive distillation, where coal is broken down in the absence of air and by providing a lot of heat. Now third question, separation of petroleum into many useful components, and this process is known as what? Fractional distillation, where petroleum is separated into useful components at a higher temperature, since their fractions are having what? Different boiling points. Now next one, a gas that occurs over petroleum in reservoirs deep inside the earth. So since you know natural gas mainly means mostly it occurs above the petroleum reservoir, so your answer will be what? Natural gas. And finally the last one, the fifth one, the common name for coal, petroleum and natural gas. So you know the common name, that is what? Fossil fuel. So that was all from the chapter, and this is the end of the periodic test first syllabus. So now we have completed 4 chapters, and these are going to come in your first periodic test. So from next video we will start the revision work, so that you can get the revision of these chapters and you can score maximum marks in your periodic test. So till then we are going to meet in the next video. Take care of yourself, be safe and keep studying.